I think the voices which are dominant in shaping any culture are those that come through film, music in this world. So whoever is producing the films which are producing the most number of viewers, and singer-songwriters who have the most number of followers, I think are the ones who have the dominant influence in any given culture. And I think that's always been the case, which is why trying to track what people are reading or listening to or watching at a mass level will always tell you where the points of a connection in a culture are and what that culture really values at a very deep level. I mean, when it comes to thinking about atheist writing, in one sense, it's very easy to figure out who are the people who, again, who are having the large amount of impact. You just have to look at the sales figures and figure out. Now, but there are two different things happening here. One is the fact that the people who are most popular aren't necessarily the people who are the most cutting edge. So someone who's very popular may be repeating a lot of their ideas in a variety of different formats and selling a large number of books because they have name recognition, which is a different question, and therefore going to be very, very influential, which is a different question to what happens when you move further back behind it. Behind that, you see lots of different forms of atheism. The hard thing is, the impossible thing normally is to pick one and say that one's going to be very popular in 10 years' time, because you're not quite sure who may actually win out the debate. So behind the very popular forms of atheism right now, there are a variety of other forms behind it, all the way from a relatively culturally soft atheism, which basically asks people to play nice and treat each other with civility, to slightly harder forms which basically say, given the fact there's no ground for human rights or even human dignity, we need to abandon those ideas altogether and have a much more survival of the fittest type society, which would lead to a much more brutal form. And then there's a whole variety of shades of in between. So I think what's happening at the moment is people are processing what are the consequences of atheism, politically, socially, economically. In other words, as this filters through into other disciplines, what are the consequences that we may have? And there's a very broad spectrum of voices behind there right now. And the question is, okay, who's going to win out the day? And in the sense of who will achieve that sort of popular level of influence, and then that will then, become the next, if you like, big thing that people will follow. But that's why it's probably worthwhile reading even atheists who disagree with each other, and to try to find that spectrum. Everybody from those who see atheism having a much more moderate impact on society, to those who think it's going to have a very, very radical, like John Gray, who thinks it should have a very radical effect on society. And you want to sort of read across that spectrum to sort of prepare yourself for what may be coming next. But it's very hard to take a crystal ball and say, well, it's definitely going to be this one. It's going to be one of them. We're just not sure which one it is.